Fucking do it.
All right, we're live.
Yeah.
What's going on, email income experts? And welcome. We don't have a name for this talk right now, but we're going to be talking all things how to get clients, how to keep clients, how to build relationships with clients, and just anything we can do in regards to helping you guys experience success here. So without further ado, we've gotten a lot of questions from you guys, so let's get into it. So how this is going to work is we're gonna put out a question, and then each of us are gonna take like 3 or 4 minutes and just kind of rant on it. Sound good?
Sounds good.
I love a good rant.
Dope.
Especially on a Thursday.
Sam, you go first.
All right, cool. So question number 1 comes from Simon Roberts. He says, I'm just starting week number 1. Can I get in on this? Oh, hold on a sec. It's not a question.
That
All right, second one. This one comes from Lauren Wise. She has 3 questions, so I'm going to pick one of them.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm going to go with this one. What are the best things to consider to build added value to your clients? Now, Coach Sam, how about you start us off, my man?
What are the best things to provide added value for your clients?
Yep. Best things to consider to build added value to your clients.
Being aware of what they need, could need, and other things that could help them out. By that, I mean deliverability stuff, things that aren't about actually email copywriting. One of my clients has found that very helpful. Like being on top of, I read a lot of articles about deliverability, stuff like that. Like the GDPR stuff from last week, for those of you who don't know, there are certain guidelines that went into place for people who live in the European Union in order for you to be able to actually send to them legally. You have to follow these new guidelines, stuff like that. That wasn't even on their radar, but I actually wrote up emails for that process anyway and sent them off. For instance, I had a call with one of my clients and his business manager earlier today. They're looking, he also has a big podcast. So they're looking for some emails for the podcast. Well, I actually written some of those preemptively. And he's like, oh, well, I don't care if the podcast already went up. Not everyone knows that when they go up. So we can actually use that. And then for one of his sponsors, I wrote an email as an affiliate offer last week before things became kind of more official, which they kind of did today. So that's really exciting in other news. But he's like, wait, did you write that for them or did you write it for us? I was like, well, I wrote it for us. Like, oh my God, thank you so much. That's amazing. So like, it wasn't even, I wasn't doing it like, oh, I'm just going to add value here. I was just like, this might make sense to do it. And it ends up kind of adding value. So just kind of long story short, going that extra mile, doing things that your clients probably don't expect of you, but they're going to be super appreciative that you did.
Yeah, it's super interesting that you mentioned that, dude. Like a lot of people hear the word like add value or over deliver, but it's like until you like really like figure out like what does that mean? Like what's the concrete version of that statement? Like just straight up like doing more than you're expected to do. Like if he expects you to just like write 1 email for the day, like write them 2. Be like, hey, I did tomorrow's work too, so I could save you like an extra 30 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, I sent him probably an extra week's worth of emails today that he wasn't even expecting, just that he can use at random times when he needs them. And he's like, well, I'll probably look for like at least 3 or 4 emails a day. And I'm like, dude, like if you want me to write like 5, 6, or 7, like that's what I'm signing up for. And he's like, well, let's like do like I want like at least 3 or 4, so we'll see what happens with that. But yeah, I mean, like we're all so conditioned to write 7 emails a week for our clients. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, I'm actually he's actually going to be out in LA this weekend. So we're going to be getting together on Sunday in person. So that'll be cool. Last time I saw him in person was when I first met him like 2.5 months ago before we started working together.
Hell yeah, dude. All right, Justin Feldman, what's your take on this, my man?
Yeah, so I have 2 suggestions for adding value. Number one is more physical. The other one is more like a personal thing. I think the first and the best way. Are we disclosing our clients on here, or should we just?
Since I'm going to be on the Facebook group, I mean, everybody gets that, but I'd still say no. It's just.
I'd say no also.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, so my client who I work with, I'm constantly texting him. We're going back and forth. We're always in constant communication, and that shows that you give a shit. And it's one thing to just write the emails, to write all 7 emails, send them to them, but it doesn't take long to pick up the phone and record a voice message and send it over to him, ask him a question about, what are you doing today that I can put in this email, or what do you think about this, or whatever. Even if it's not even if it's just to say hi or something small, constant communication for sure is going to add a lot of value, because it shows that you really care about providing the best service you can. So I would definitely say constant communication, whether it maybe even add value by figuring out the best way to do that. Maybe it's through text, maybe it's through some kind of app, through email, whatever is the best way for them. That's just showing them that's giving them value, because you're making it easier for them.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, my dog.
I just want to piggyback on that real quick, Justin. 1,000% agree with what you're saying. One of the issues I've been having with clients, particularly the client who everything got resolved with today, is the whole communication. So I'm always reaching out. I'm always trying to stay on top of things, and he's a ridiculously busy guy. He has a lot going on, so he's really hard to get a hold of. And the last few times we've spoken, he's actually said, his exact words today were I'm so happy I'm able to connect with you. We're missing out so much, not having you with us. I want you to be in contact with my business manager. She's really easy to get a hold of. I'm a pain in the ass to get a hold of, and I'm really sorry about that.
Yeah.
So I get it. So go out of your, don't be pestering. But if you don't hear back every other day or maybe once a day, even in certain situations, keep following up, because like Justin said, I'm just trying to get a hold of him. And even though he's not necessarily able to connect with me a lot of the times because he's so busy, the fact that it looks like I'm going out of my way to try and get a hold of him because I want to make things work, that goes a long way. And he knows that you are serious about this partnership. You're serious about this relationship. So even if they're not getting back to you, stay on top of the communication on your end, because eventually, like in my case, it's going to come back around, and it's going to serve you both really well.
And for anybody else watching this right now, just on that topic, because this is super important, if you set expectations right up front with how you're going to be communicating with them before you even talk about emails, pay, or anything like that, with the 4 people who I'm working with right now, what I told them before I even started working with them is so this is how I feel like this should work. That way it'd be easier for you and easier for me. And it's just this, every single day, I'm going to have access to your Aweber or to your account. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to type out the email, and I'm going to send you I'm going to send you a test email. I'm doing this for one reason, because no matter how much you trust me, no matter how long we work together, I always want you to have the freedom to say what goes out and what doesn't. And you're setting that communication expectation immediately. Don't get into it where you start working with somebody for a little while, and then 4 or 5 weeks in, then you try to set expectations for communication. Now you're just throwing them off. So it's so much easier to just set that stuff up immediately. However you think is going to be best to communicate, do it right on the first conversation. All right.
Yeah, I agree. If we had gotten that handled back in March, I would have saved myself a whole hell of a lot of stress and anxiety and literally headaches. And my client would be much further along with with our email program, and we'd be making a lot more money. We have that squared away now, but if we had addressed that from the get-go, things would have been that much better. So everything that Zach's saying, that Justin's saying, guys, communication is so critical. Without it, you're not going to be able to succeed. Neither of you are.
There's tons of different apps too. I mean, for example, with our client, we use Slack. You actually go on your computer and you type back and forth. You can use Voxer, which is a voice. You can use your iPhone. And I prefer using voice. It's just so much easier, so much faster. You can just get the message, to them and receive it just very, very fast. And that's what they want. A lot of these especially the high level influencers, they don't have time to sit there and go back and forth. They want a quick message. They want to give you a quick answer, and then they want to move on. So that's the first one. The second one is more of a physical thing. I was at a mastermind event, not in the mastermind, but I was at the event a couple weeks ago, and one of the I forget who the speaker was. I think it's Craig Ballantyne actually, but he was talking about a book. I haven't read this particular book yet. It's called Giftology. Have you guys read it?
No.
No.
So basically, the premise of the book is like is basically gifting people physical items. I'm actually working on getting a gift from the client that I'm working with, as well as some other people. But basically, the whole premise of the book that I haven't read it yet, I'm going to read it, but I know what it's about now, is basically sending gifts to show like your appreciation, sending something of value. It doesn't need to be expensive, but show something that's going to benefit your client. So like, for example, the client I'm currently working with, he has a podcast, and the podcast manager who like records the podcast, he basically just sounds awesome pretty much. He sent my client like a recording mic. It wasn't like he didn't have to do that, but he just did it just to show appreciation. So like little stuff like that, because we're doing this not just to write their emails for a week. We're doing it to form a long-term relationship. So get kind of creative with this and think about like what ways you can provide value and really help your client get a little.
You just gave me a brilliant idea, Justin. It's like the
I need to read the book just to get a little more.
It's going to cost me like $25, maybe $40, including shipping. It's not anything fancy. It's not something that's going to last more than 1 or 2 weeks. But given the type of individual my client is and the type of stuff he's doing, I think it's actually going to go a really long way. So thank you.
Yeah, for sure. I got someone else to gift as we all know, but it fucking broke today, so I got to order a new one. But hint if he watches this.
Yo, Mr. Eagle, you got anything to add to this question?
Well, I want to hop off Justin's, gifting idea. That's totally right. I just sent my client, a first one, a gift. It was a book, and I think that goes a long way. And this, just gifting clients here and there makes you thoughtful. They're not expecting that. It's not. You always set expectations at the start, but you also want to blow expectations on the side, and it doesn't have to be through email either. Obviously, crushing it with email would definitely help. But that's great. Yeah, basically everything what these guys said were totally correct. Sam, I'm grateful that you got your shit covered with your client. Another thing when it comes to adding value is anticipating problems before your clients even know about it, especially when it's on the email side. My client, the problem that showed up today, and without hesitation, I went in and using the knowledge I had and all the experience, I went in there and I tried to fix the problem right away. And of course, next thing I know is he messaged me back because I'm doing constant communication. He says, "Oh shit, yeah, I was going to recommend or ask that you do that, what I just did right away." And that just makes the from problem to resolve much shorter, and they think that you're a fucking wizard. So
the same thing with the GDPR thing. So I sent him the deadline for GDPR was like I think it was a couple days after Memorial Day or something like that. And so I texted him that weekend, and I knew he was with his family, so he probably wouldn't respond. We got on a call like 3 days later, and he's like, "What is this thing?" And I was like, "Yeah, dude, you're not going to be able to sell to your European Union residing customers," which I know you have a lot of because he's got like over 100,000 people on his customer list. I was like, "Unless we do this." So I actually took the liberty of writing up an email that handles this for you. You guys just have to send it out. And he was like, "Oh, sweet, thanks." Like, I had no idea that was even a thing.
So good. That's so badass. It really helps. It just makes them love you even more. And
because one, you're adding value. More importantly, you genuinely care and you're actually like being of service. So you don't, and whatever like sense of entitlement they might think you have in the event that they do, that's going to go away. So like, oh no, they actually care. Like we have mutual success here, right? Like if one of us doesn't succeed, the other doesn't succeed. So
the faster you can get to like more of a friendship than a freaking business relationship, it makes
like one of my clients was like literally a celebrity in my eyes, and now he calls me dude and man and bro and dog.
Crazy. It's crazy.
It's absurd.
It's so crazy, man. Literally saying brother. We're calling us brothers now. So yeah, it's going a long way. It's almost like they're freaking Team Capital badass next to me, and it's awesome.
It's super cool. Now, as far as this question, guys, like I feel like
Handled it.
I have nothing to add to that. What I'm going to say is summarize everything we just said is like, if you can make your client your friend, like go into it with the frame of I am friends with this person and we are just going to be friends making money together. That's the mindset you want to have here. Like, even if they're a celebrity in your eyes, like that is still a human being and like you can still form a connection. So
Yeah.
We're
we're all proof of this. We're all proof of this. Every single, we won't say who, some of you know who, but every single person on this Zoom call right now is working with a celebrity influencer of some sort. That is a bona fide fact. And yet they're all humans. They're all treating us like equals. We're all on the same team. And for lack of a better phrasing, it's fucking beautiful.
Yeah. Just take that from us. Like here, like what we're saying, like these guys, like if you can look at potential clients and influencers that you're going to be working with and see them as an equal to you now before you even start working with them, like it's crazy. I'm sure you guys can all relate. Like talking to your clients now, like it's like you're on the same level. You're helping them. They're helping you. So if you can see your potential client, that your dream client is someone that's on the same level as you, you're just trying to help their business, then you're going to be a lot more well off when you finally talk to them.
Yeah, and it's also going to help you when you are looking to acquire other clients in the future. So for me, the very first client conversation I had was with one of my current clients, who was one of my dream clients and like one of, if not the biggest fish that I was pursuing. And so just the mindset, like Justin was saying, knowing how I am with him now, like, oh, anyone who's at his level above or below, it's not even a question. I'm just so cool with it because like I already got that like the biggest hurdle has already been jumped over, and I landed on both feet. So whatever's next is a piece of cake. You got that going too for when you're going for more clients down the road.
Mm-hmm. And that's the question. There's going to be some troubles with your clients. It's inevitable.
Oh, I mean, I'll be perfectly honest with you guys. Up until really yesterday and today, I'll be honest with you guys. I was like going through in and out of zones of like depression because of this stuff. Like I was going into like Memorial Day and after Memorial Day weekend, I was probably the happiest and most excited I've ever been in my entire life. And then I had one call with my client, and it wasn't a negative call, but it also wasn't like great either. And I just got really down. And I mean, I hadn't gotten paid by either of my clients. I couldn't get a hold of either of them. And I was like, some of these introductions I was getting from more clients for my agency, like they weren't going the way I had hoped. Not because of anything I did, but they just weren't, the situations weren't such that I was needed. And I was like really, really, really bummed out. And I was like, there's no way this is going to work. And then I talked to people who I talked to if I'm ever having an issue. They talked me through, into what was like actually happening. Just started taking action. And the last 48 hours, I've been on fucking fire. Like, so just
you got to work through the negative parts. Like
like they're inevitable. They're gonna be there. That's an awesome point, Sam. Like, as soon as you start hitting that point where you're depressed, just know like that is when you're gonna be closest to succeeding, and you're gonna have every time you succeed, you're gonna have the next wall is gonna happen. They're gonna they're gonna always be there. Just gotta keep pushing through them.
Yeah, and one of the things, it's really simple. I think I said this in a Facebook post in the group the other day. The best way to alleviate and get rid of anxiety is taking action.
Mm-hmm. Dude,
even if that
triple A, action alleviates anxiety.
Hell yeah! Even if that means you're on the phone
quote of the day
with one of your copywriters until midnight, putting shit together like in like a sprint sesh for a potential client. If that's what you have to do, that's what you have to do. Is that what I had to do?
What doesn't work is scrolling on your phone and social media and looking at everyone else.
You're gonna be spending the same amount of time doing something else anyways. Here's the thing, guys. We have 24 fucking hours in a day. Like you're either spending it productively or you're spending it lackadaisically. Like but without further ado, guys, let's get into the second question because I want to make sure that we can try and get to most people today.
Yeah, we like the client stuff.
Oh no. How would you guys feel about making a part 2 if it had to happen?
Do it.
I'd be totally down, man.
Make it part
Hey.
six.
I like talking.
You guys,
Because
you
I like
guys hear me? You guys hear me say this every day. I live to serve.
Dude, I'm getting value out of this anyways. Like, just talking to you guys, I love
Yeah,
this.
no, this is awesome.
No matter what as
Dude,
well.
I figured it's just a good idea, man. Like,
Yeah.
and honestly,
How can it not be a good idea?
like,
You
bring
know?
more people in on this, dude. Like, and then we just form our own little mastermind group.
I mean, honestly, the more time I can spend looking at Zach's beautiful hair, I mean, the happier I am. So,
Oh, Sam,
yeah,
you're making me
it's so
blush.
perfect.
Anyways, question number 2.
question number 2. Let's go.
All right, so question number 2 comes from Malcolm Forrest. What is up, my man? So he asks, when on a call with a potential client, a lot of the time they ask questions about why our style of email writing is different from the others and why it can help them grow their business. So what is the best way to break down and explain us EIE guys can help them out? Dude, I love this question. It's a really good question, and I'm about to blow your motherfucking mind right now.
He's humble too.
So here's the thing, dude. You don't want to spend your time explaining to them why this is going to be helpful for them. You don't, like, here's the thing. Like, I don't know if you've ever, like, done game or learned anything about game or anything like that. There's this thing called qualifying yourself to somebody. Now, if they're asking you that question and then you're just trying to sell yourself like, hey, man, like, my business, I could do this for you. I could double your profits. Like, I can increase brand loyalty for you. And you're, like, selling yourself, and you're really trying to do that. You're not coming across from a position of, like, I already have people, like, you're coming across from a position that I need you. So here's the thing. This is what you want to do. You don't want to tell them. You want to show them. So when they ask you that, just be like, okay, how about I give you an example? What product are you promoting right now? And then when you say it, and then when they give you that, what you're going to do is you're going to write them a free email. You're going to give it to them, be like, hey, I don't expect anything in return for this, but I've been following your emails for a while. I see what you're promoting right now. And these are the changes that I'd recommend you make. And I wrote this all for you. All you have to do is copy and paste and put it in your Aweber. And if it works really well, I don't expect anything in return, but I find it's better to deliver results up front, and I don't like telling. I prefer to show because it's more authentic.
Yes. So in sales and marketing in general, demonstration beats presentation every single fucking time. I'll say it again. Demonstration, showing, beats presentation, telling every single fucking time. Another thing, just to kind of piggyback off of what Zach was just saying, just phrasing it in a different way. Craig Ballantyne talks about this a lot. Deliver results in advance. Your sale, meaning in your case closing this client, is going to be so much easier. You deliver results in advance. They haven't even gotten like the full breadth and scope of what you actually offer yet they've already won. They've already gotten a positive result. Think about how much easier it's going to be in that conversation. So how do you want to proceed? Oh yeah, I want you to write my emails for me. Like that was with my, for instance, with my biggest client right now, our first phone call, he was highly skeptical. It almost came across as adversarial. Like I was sweating bullets. I had to overcome like a bunch of objections, and I didn't do it in the smoothest way, but I made it work. And he's like, dude, I don't even know if you can do what you say you can do, but I'm willing to give you a shot. So I wrote a sequence for him. It went out. And he went from saying, oh, I don't even know if you can do what you say you can do, to, if you're still available and still interested, I want you writing all of my emails. Demonstration, not presentation. Show, not tell.
And just add one more point. I just want to say, like, I'm not a sales specialist or perfect at this stuff. I'm still learning as I go. But I know that, like you guys said, you don't want to, like Zach said, you don't want to qualify yourself ever. And that's I've talked to some of the guys that have gone through like Dan Luck's sales program. Like that's like the worst thing you can do is just try and qualify yourself or show them the features and benefits and all that stuff. I picked up a book here that I read that I think will help a lot of guys out. Jason talked about it. It was Spin Selling. Have you guys read that book?
Oh yeah.
I have it right there. I haven't really read much of it though.
I haven't finished. I've just kind of gone through the important shit, but that's what I usually do. But the main thing is like it's not about qualifying yourself or telling the features. It's about it's basic human psychology. People are typically driven by pain points. They're driven by things that are going wrong in their life, not things that are going right. So when they ask you like how you can help them, maybe it's because you didn't dig it deep enough. Maybe you should, ask, well, when they say like, how can you help? Ask them like what's been going wrong in your email program. Why do you need this? What can I do to help? And then try to get a lot deeper into their pain points and really like get the buying temperature a lot higher, and then that will typically help you to make them realize it.
Justin's 100% right on this. There's only rare instances where that won't work. For instance, my first client, he was super specific with all this stuff, was like pouring his heart and soul out, super honest with everything, told me the numbers, what they were doing, what they could be doing, what was working, not working, this, that, and the other thing. And then with my second client, he's like, I'm not telling you that. That's my business. Why would I tell you my business? And I was like, well, okay, well, where do you want? Okay, you don't have to tell me what you're doing. Where would you want it to be? Double what I'm doing right now. Oh, okay. So what are your open rates and your click-through and open rates, your click-through rates? Oh, they're good. They're very good. You want to give me a number? They're very good. Huh. Okay. But that still ended up in a trial promotion that.
Would you respond to that?
What?
What'd you say to that?
I was like, oh, okay, that's good. And I kind of like moved on from there.
Okay.
I didn't want to just like stick on it.
Yeah.
But that ended up in another call, which ended up in a trial promotion, 4 or 5 day promotion that went really well. He's been out of town, so I'm just still waiting for him to get back to me in the next couple of days. But he said, even before all the sales numbers came in, he's like, it'd be great if you could write my emails for me. And he's also got like a 6-figure list too. So in terms of people.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
that's what I feel like. I'm just going to respond to the first client because it's thinking, right? This is going to baby go and succeed.
I totally agree. Spin selling. Flip back on that. Like they're not only qualified because it's the right for you. Guys are not really doing that well. It's like, do you really want to spend all that time working for that? So
Yeah,
or
if they want you to do stuff that you don't want to do. Because I had multiple occasions with one of my current clients before we worked everything out, where he wanted me to do all this extra stuff that wasn't what I do. And like I was literally on 2 separate occasions, including today, prepared to walk away from potentially millions of dollars because it wasn't what I do, and it was going to cause me anxiety and stress and headache.
That's awesome.
So one thing I will say about that, Dan Kennedy talks about this. Dan Locke talks about this. Now Sam Robson talks about it too. No client or amount of money is worth you sacrificing your standards. No
100%.
client or amount of money sacrificing your standards for. Okay? Dan Kennedy talked about how he returned $70,000 to a client because they didn't want to work with him. Dan Locke's done the same thing. Dan Kennedy also says, this will stick in your mind probably better than what I'm saying. If I wake up thinking about you 3 mornings in a row and I'm not sleeping with you, you got to go.
That was great.
A lot. That's
So,
awesome.
Thanks, Dan Kennedy.
That's genius advice right there.
And I was like, oh my God, this is like my situation. Now, ultimately, everything worked out, and all of my terms and requirements are being met. But on 2 separate occasions, including earlier today, before the phone call with my client happened, I was ready to walk away from a dream client, dream situation, dream money, because it didn't meet my standards of what I needed for myself and my life and how I work and how I operate. So do not sacrifice your standards for anyone. I don't care who it is. I don't care how big they are. I don't care how much money you can make. It is not worth it. Because even if you're making a lot of money and you're able to travel wherever you want, but it's work that you don't want to be doing, or it's causing you stress and anxiety like every day or a lot, you're still a slave to that work. So that whole freedom, that creating that life on your own terms that we're all striving for and working towards with all this anyway, that stuff disappears if the type of work you're doing is causing you stress and anxiety on a daily basis.
Right. It's the same thing. You're just working from your laptop doing the same thing.
Exactly. You just don't have to commute.
Right.
Is
Zach, still here?
Yeah, I am still here, man.
He's not here right now, but
No, the meeting. No, I'm still here, guys. The meeting's about to end in like 4 minutes. I'm trying to upgrade this to pro right now, so just keep dropping.
taking action right away. Look at that.
Is that how you do it with your calls, Paul?
Yeah. Actually, I just do the easy way. Yeah. Fortunately,
What's
the chair
easy
way.
Chair way.
What's the easy way, Paul?
What's the easy chair way? Easy way, chair way.
Well, no, I mean, so maybe Zach doesn't have to upgrade. Like what?
He doesn't. He doesn't have to upgrade. He just goes back, and we just hop right back on.
If you want to do that, that's fine.
Yeah, Zach. All you have to.
No, it's cool, man. I need to do this anyways because I do a lot of Zoom meetings with my clients.
Yeah, you do.
That's cool. Hey, if you do it longer than 30 minutes, then yeah, totally upgrade.
Word. Here's what I'm gonna do right now. Let's answer another question. I'm gonna leave this one to you guys for a minute. All right. So William Sorrell asks, what I've discovered is many businesses, especially local ones, don't have an email list. They don't want to pay for one and don't want to put one together from their present customers. And then he says, should I move on to businesses that already have one, or what's the minimum size the list should be, et cetera, et cetera?
Move on.
So my answer, I don't think is necessarily going to work, given the rest of the qualifications put into that question. What I would say is if it's someone with any kind of social media following, even if it's relatively small, they can convert those people onto an email list and transfer them over to an email list. But if they don't have a social media following and they don't have an email list and they don't want to build an email list, then that sounds like an unqualified client. Move on, find someone else who actually wants what you're looking for.
Yeah, that's an easy question. I would say fuck that, move on. In terms of
so many fish in the sea.
Yeah, exactly. In terms of the amount of clients, I would say you want to just kind of figure out, because you're going to be charging anywhere from $2,000 to $5,000 a month, maybe even more at some point. So you still want it to be a steal for them. So if they have a a list of 50,000, 100,000 people, that's a lot of money. Even though less than that, depending on what their product, you get to think about logistics of how much are they selling their product for, how great is their fan base, their social media. If they have a smaller list, but like Sam, like you said, they have a massive social media, then gaining that traction won't be too hard. And if their product is a solid product, like research them and see if you believe in what they're trying to offer. And if it's a product that's gonna help a lot of people, and a lot of people are gonna actually buy into it, then yeah, go for it. But they don't have a big enough list. I mean, your job is to help clients. Your job is
we should probably hop off and then hop back on, unless Zach has found a way.
Literally, the payment just went through. I think I cleared it for us.
I think it cleared. We can go as long as we want, guys.
It still says less than a minute, guys.
I agree.
All night.
Oh, Paul.
Upgrade.
All night for you guys, every single time.
It now includes unlimited minutes.
Wow.
God. Now your gorgeous hair is just the second most attractive thing about you, Zach.
All right, I'm back, guys. Sorry about all that crap.
Woo!
Let's get to the next question because I think that one was pretty straightforward.
Pretty much.
Here. All right. Are there certain industries that are more or less lucrative than others when it comes to email marketing?
That's super fucking easy to answer. I would say the three biggest markets in business in general: health, wealth, happiness. So that means health and fitness, financial opportunities, whether that's stock trading, how to build a business, things like that. Increasing and growing your own business, and then happiness, which is the personal development space.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I agree.
Silence.
Total silence.
You got it, man.
Fucking killed that one.
All right, so I'm not seeing really any other questions here, at least on this one. So I just kind of wanted to answer just the basic one that I've been getting. I've gotten this question 25 times. What do you guys feel is the most effective way to land a client?
You and me both.
I think we all agree on the same thing.
Uh-huh.
But let's do it anyways.
All right. We'll all say it on the count of 3.
1.
Yep.
2. 3. Referral.
Networking, referrals, whatever.
I was gonna say.
As you guys can see, we didn't plan any of this shit. So
No, really messed up.
Network intros, referrals, they're synonymous.
You guys didn't type it in the chat box in time.
Might as well.
That's simple. It's definitely network. Yeah, like I'm sure you guys have reached out to a lot of people. I know I have reached out to a lot of people, and you'll get lucky and find someone, but it's definitely about Jason talks about being high status and you want to leverage yourself from a higher standpoint. So getting a client is going to be a lot easier if they see you from a higher standpoint.
Yeah. Well, I had a very interesting situation in the last 36 hours that was kind of a hybrid of the two. It's the first person I have ever reached out to. So someone, I won't name any names, someone introduced me to this potential client via email. Said potential client did not respond to the email at all. Didn't respond to the message. Didn't say, no, I'm not interested. Didn't say shit. So I sent this individual a DM on Instagram, and he is now looking at my emails for me and my team to potentially take him on as a client. But in this 20-second video message, I mentioned someone who may have introduced us, even though the introduction didn't actually go through or happen. So it wasn't like a full cold approach. It wasn't a full referral, but it was like a really weird love child of the two. And
this is actually kind of interesting because this is going to bring us into our next question. This comes from Isaac Abbey. He says, what are the best strategies for leveraging your social network to get clients without coming across as needy or low status? So here, just bouncing off of what Sam just said, like you want to orchestrate an environment that is bringing you opportunity, be it like a referral from a friend or whatever. Honestly, I hope this scares the shit out of some of you, like not you guys who are on this call here with me, but like just people watching. Like in the past 2 years, I've spent over $40,000 to put myself to networking seminars, business seminars, mastermind groups, certification courses, different meetup groups. Like I have spent a fuck ton of money doing that. And because of that, I brought a fuck ton of people into my social circle. Now, I'm not super close friends with every single person who is in that group, but it's a matter of like, look, if you don't have the environment, the networking environment right now, you need to go put yourself in a place where you can build that network. And that maybe that means you have to make some financial choices that are hard. Like, believe me, I know what it feels like to be in.
I did it.
Sucks.
I did it.
Sucks.
The best decision I ever made in my life.
But it's what you have to do. And like, look, let's start with the low hanging fruit here. Like, I'm not saying you need to go spend 40 grand tomorrow. What I'm saying is that go to a meetup group, like figure out what is a hobby that a bunch of rich people do. And then how can I pick up that hobby, start hanging around these people, and then just friends with them? Because friendship here is the name of the game, my friend. Like,
and what places? You'd be surprised how many now. I know people who've done this and they've had success. They're not in email marketing. They're in other industries, but other industries that are heavily predicated on having a network, a powerful and influential network. Hanging out and working at like in a restaurant or at a hotel bar of like a 5-star hotel, you would be shocked how many people make connections that change the course of their lives and their careers there. Like get like a salad or get a glass of water or get an iced tea or a soda or something. And that's all you have to order. You spend a couple bucks. So you sit there, work people, oh, what are you up to? Oh, I do da-da-da-da. Oh, really? You do email marketing? Like, that's amazing. Like how, like I have a business or my friend has a business right here. Or I know someone who could use your skills. Can I get your contact information? You have no idea how easy and effective stuff like that can be. It's hard. Like I've done that before, not for email, but I've done it for other things. And it's hard putting yourself out there when you don't know these people, but you just have to do it. And just like I said earlier, the best way to get rid of anxiety is to take fucking action. Just start talking.
And dude, like about like just not coming across needy or being low status. Like, here's the thing, man. Like, I want you to like kind of separate yourself from like a mentality of like that there's something wrong with me. Okay, there's nothing fucking wrong with you. Okay, there's a lot of marketing out there that would suggest otherwise, but dude, like there's nothing fucking wrong with you. If you go into this situation like you would write an email, you come in there with a giving hand. Like for example, Isaac, like if the person that you're trying to go after is a guy, what are the three biggest things that you can offer that are of value to a man? Well, you can offer him skills. You have that already. You can offer money. You can make him money. Or, dude, you could go find out where this dude lives, find a couple of hot girls, introduce him to him, and that way. Like, money, skills, women. That's if it's a guy. But if it's a girl that you're going after too, man, like, just offering value up front. It's the point I'm trying to get at here. Like, that's how you do it in a high-status way. That is how you do it in a way that's not neat. Is you're coming with a giving hand. But when you give that, you're not doing it like, hey, I'm giving you this so that you give me something back. Like, it's coming like, I'm giving you this because I know my shit's good. I know my shit's going to work for you. I just want you to try it out. And that first one that you give them for free or like whatever you're doing, like find a way where you can just bring value into people's lives. This could just be as simple as like, can you make that person laugh? Like it's these small things that give people value in their lives. They add up to bigger things.
Yeah. There's a book out there called the Go Getter. It's a really quick read. You don't need to read it. But basically, the whole book.
Go Giver.
The Go Getter. The Go Getter. No, sorry, the Go Giver. Yeah, the Go Giver. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, basically the Go Giver. It's you go through a whole story where basically the end result of the book is this guy was all about himself. He always wanted something in return. He would give, but he wanted something back. And the point is, the main character of the book spent his entire life giving as much as he could to as many people as he could, and then he was like one of the richest men in the world. So it's all about like it's all about giving without the expectation of getting anything in return. And just to piggyback on what you said before about like getting out into social situations and just putting yourself out there. I have an example that happened a couple of days ago. I'm back in town. I'm actually moving out of state in a few days, but I'm back in town. I'm a personal trainer by trade. Retired about 3 weeks ago, which is pretty awesome. But I'm a personal trainer, and I was actually one of the trainers I used to train with. His girlfriend just graduated her master's degree or some shit. So they were having like a party, and I went there because I hadn't seen these guys in a few months. So I wanted to hang out with some of the trainers I used to work with, and we used to train some like really wealthy clients there. That's not why I went. I just went there to have a good time. But as soon as I got there, I started talking to my friend Zach actually. And we were just shooting the shit, going back and forth. And one of the clients that worked at the facilities to train it came up to us, and Zach introduced me, and then we started talking. He started making fun of me. We were just joking around, and then he asked me like what I do, and he's like asked like, oh, you're not a trainer anymore? I was like, oh no, I actually just left that. I'm working on something new. And then I kind of just explained to him how I'm doing email marketing. I'm doing email copy writing for high level fitness influencers. And then as soon as I said that to him, the guy reaches into his pocket and hands me his business card, which is crazy. The guy, he's in real estate, so if anyone that wants to write for someone that regarding real estate, that's not what I'm doing. So message me for sure, and I'll send you his information. But yeah, it was just cool to be at a situation
above or below.
Friends, what was that?
It's like click the link below.
Yeah, click the link below, and I'll give you 50% off right now. But yeah, it was cool to be in a situation where I went there to have fun, to connect with old friends, and just by being there, by taking action, just going out into a new environment that I hadn't been in a while, I could have probably got him as a client if I wanted him.
There's also going to conferences and events.
Yeah, sure.
So
that's the best thing.
I was at Fitness Business Summit where I was introduced to one of my current clients. Funny enough, but the next day there was another influencer who, not as high level, but someone I recognize and respect and look up to, and I keep seeing him like, oh, he's talking to other people or whatever. So I find the time he's there. I literally just go up to him and I'm speaking straight from the heart. I was like, dude, like I do da-da-da-da. Like I really thank you for what you do. I appreciate what you do. You know, I was a former health coach and personal trainer like Justin prior to getting into email marketing myself. And I was telling him what I do and everything. And he's like, oh, let me get your information. And, I've just followed up with him for like the second time last week and didn't hear back. That's totally cool. But I didn't think he would hit me back once I gave him my info. And like a few hours later, he hit me back and he's like, "Thank you so much for what you do, helping fitness professionals reach more people and change lives, da 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 da." And I was like, "Oh, well, no problem. Like, hopefully, maybe we can work together someday." Like, well, he's not going to respond to that. And 30 seconds later, he's like, "Yeah, let's stay in touch for sure."
That's
right?
awesome.
And it's literally just because I went up to him and started talking to him and thanked him for what he did. Because I honestly appreciate what he does. So like going to events is going to be huge. Like you have no idea how much your world can change by going to an event like that.
Exactly.
Change mine.
Like going to, like for me, for my example, like I went to a social event. Like that was a coincidence. I met someone that possibly could need me. You go to like these high level events, they all need you. So it's just a matter of finding the right person that will fit with you.
Yeah.
Literally, guys, here, let's make this also just more concrete for him. Like if you got, as email income experts, some great events for you to go to, Traffic and Funnels, they tracked a fuck ton of online business owners. A lot of them are 6 figures and up. Actually, not many.
Traffic. Are you talking about traffic and conversion?
Yeah, I think so. Traffic and Funnels,
traffic and conversion.
Listen to Sam. He knows more about that shit than I do. But the point of this is like find events that are congruent with your services. So anywhere that's teaching internet marketing, anywhere that's teaching how to run an online business, anything like that, you should be there. If you're in health and wellness and you want to work in health and wellness, then go find a health and wellness seminar.
Go to like FitCons or Fit Expo. There's so many more that are like escaping my mind right now. Like, trust me, there are a ton, and there are a ton of people. I mean, I was just introduced to another quasi celebrity in my eyes because I've been through this guy's programs. I appreciate what he does because he had a big impact on my life. I was introduced to him like a week or two ago via email. Now, he doesn't end up needing my services because his business partner handles his emails and is pretty well respected in the health and fitness copywriting world. But he still was like, "Oh, well, so I have this, but like still, what do you have in mind?" Like you have no idea what could happen by going to an event. You have no idea.
Oh God! Only that idea you create in your brain. Sorry, my dog's freaking out.
Like, I mean, as effective as these Instagram DMs can be, going to and you walk up to someone and you see them face to face, and they're like, "Wow, this is a real human being," and they appreciate me, and they can help me out. I'm gonna want to get to know them.
And guys, like, here's the thing, like. We're not getting paid to tell you this. Like,
no.
Here's the thing right now. Like, I'm going to be really real with you. I've sent out a lot of cold emails. The word we're looking for here is trust. Okay, trust. When they see you in an email, especially with as many email income experts as we have now, many people are sending these people the same emails, copy and pasting the script that they got offline and sending it out. Here's the thing. You are not the first person to take a sales certification course and then try to pitch your services. When they actually see that this isn't an email, this is a real human being. He seems certain. He seems like he knows his shit. When they could see that live and in person, look you in the eyes, like that builds trust. You can't do that with an email.
Well, exactly. So for me, one of my clients was originally going to be introduced to me via email by one of my best friends. And 25 minutes later, he ended up walking up behind us. We didn't even know he was going to be there. My buddy introduced me in person, and I just had a phone call with him and his business manager this morning. He's like, "Yeah, dude, we're going to write a contract for you. I want you to just handle the email copy. And, I'd want you to get a percentage of the revenue that we generate." Hell yeah.
Yep.
You never know.
Trust, my friends. Trust. And
you
do that.
And that I think is actually one of the reasons why he was because his first interaction with me was in person. He met me face to face. He shook my hand. He looked me in the eyes. I think that's why he was so open when I asked him about his email program, whereas the other client of mine who I was introduced to via email wouldn't give me any of his numbers or any of his information because he had he had a reason to take a call with me because of the email introduction, but he didn't have a reason to necessarily trust me because he hadn't met me or interacted with me before.
Did you do this over Zoom, Sam?
No, these are all over the phone.
Here's the thing that I'd recommend, guys. If you can make that first interaction with them, like before they even I want to do the free trial, if you can make that over Skype or Zoom, you are already in a much better position.
Yeah, like
on the phone, but then being able to see your face and feel your certainty and just be able to see and feel that is so crucial.
Right. So like the potential client that I mentioned earlier who's looking at my emails that I wrote for him right now, my first interaction with him was an Instagram DM, but it was a video. Mm-hmm. I didn't write any texts. I'm looking him dead in the eyes, introducing myself, and then I give my whole message. So he's already met me and seen me. So that next time we talk, he already kind of knows who I am because he's not just talking to some random voice. He has seen my face. He has looked into my eyes, and he saw how serious and confident I was. And that's probably going to make a big difference as opposed to just writing a message out. Sending a video message is even more powerful.
It's like trying to talk to a girl, and you're you met this girl the night before, and you guys were drunk, and you got a phone number, and the next morning you go to text her, and she has no clue who you are, and you say hey, and she never ever answers you. It's just it doesn't mean anything compared to the actual physical confrontation and face to face. They can put a face to who you are.
Because otherwise, dude, it's you're just a cartoon character to that person, right?
It doesn't matter how pretty your hair is.
Exactly. Your hair could be prettier than Sam's and mine put together. But if you can't see it through that email, then they're never going to hire you. So the tip here is we're going to end the call here. Have good hair. I'm just fucking with you. We're going to keep going.
That would have been diabolical.
That would have just been mean.
If I were watching this, I'd be like, Zach is the worst.
Holy fuck. All right, guys, next question.
I got no value.
They wouldn't care.
We have Christopher Margrave. He says, how can I get an introduction so I don't have to go in cold? I feel like we
touched on that one.
They did that already, yeah.
We did. There's
go back earlier in the call, Fuzz, and you'll get the answer.
Yeah. And also, guys, I think what we may end up doing, I'm not making any promises, but we may end up doing this once every other week, once a month, something like that. I think this will be very beneficial to continue doing. So with that being said, we have another question here. This is from Jalen. He said, so you have a list of 5 ideal clients. How would you set about to find out who in your network that might know or can introduce you to the gatekeepers of those ideal 5 clients?
Craig Ballantyne, we guys were at the summit, right? When Craig talk us through how to reach people that you thought you could never actually reach, influencers.
Yeah.
You basically want to reverse engineer, figure out who you're trying to reach, and then figure out who they might know, and keep backtracking until you can possibly figure out what tree you have to climb to get to that person. Does that make sense?
Yeah. 3 degrees of bacon, right?
3 degrees of bacon, yeah. So figure out who you figure out. If you guys watching this, write down on a piece of paper who it is that you want to come into contact with, and then work backwards and put a line next to their name and write someone that knows them, and then put another line next to their name and write someone that knows them, and try and figure out what is the lowest hanging fruit of people that you can contact that will kind of work you up that ladder.
Yeah.
100%, dude. I'm going to bounce off of something you just said there, but the low hanging fruit, here's the thing, everybody who's sitting in this group right now, who's on this phone call right now, we have all taken a lot of fucking financial risks to build and orchestrate these social environments that we are in. That is why we are able to get really big influencers and be able to work with them right off the bat. But here's the thing: unless you have also spent $20,000 or $40,000 networking for the past 2 or 3 years, odds are you probably don't know that person personally. So here's the thing, dude. John Carlton, he's one of my copywriting mentors. He talks a lot about when you're first starting out freelancing, which is basically what we're doing right now as we're starting out, is you go through a phase called the shameless whore. You basically just become a shameless whore. Jason tells you in the video that you should pick a specialty, you should specialize in something. But here's the thing. when you are first starting out, when you actually don't have expertise in there and like you are not a specialist in that yet, just find out where is their money? Where can I get started right now? Completely unbiased of what the industry is, and then just get started. And then if there's an industry that you want to get into, figure out with that person who you already have locked down as a client, hey, do you have any business friends who know somebody in the industry that I want to work in? Do you know anybody who would be a good fit for what I really want to be writing for? And then you build on it from there, and you have a solid fucking referral, and you're starting off with results.
Yeah, starting off with results, you already have an established track record. It doesn't matter if it's a small track record. You have a track record. I mean, for me, for people who are trying to make introductions to me, or to other people in their network on my behalf, the second I started working with my first client, not officially, but started talking to him on a trial basis and working with him on a trial basis, you can immediately, with 100% honesty, say they are working with person X. They are working with Y person, Z person, right? It doesn't matter how big or small they are. If you're getting them results, you have if you're working with them, you have a track record. If you're working with someone and the results haven't even come yet, the fact that you are working with someone shows and establishes you have credibility and authority, and there's social proof. Someone else has already decided that you are worth working with for some reason because you have value to add. You have value that you can provide them. So even if you don't have these great results, or even if you don't have results, the mere fact that you're working with someone shows that you have value to add. So like what Zach said, even if it's not in your dream industry right away, you're not your dream client right away, if you're with them, you don't know who they could know. In fact, one of my best friends, he's not an email marketer, but he is working with a seriously fucking big name, like a heavy fucking hitter. And that's because he did well for one of his other clients who was not a known name, but that person happened to go to church with someone who works with this massive name. Now, my buddy is working with this massive name.
Yeah, man. It's here's the thing, man. Like, shoot for the stars, and if you only hit the apple out of your tree, then whatever. Like, it's okay.
I thought you were gonna say you'll land on the moon, but
it's
I always say that, like, I'm super grateful because I think we all are kind of in the same boat. We're grateful. I'm grateful because, like, we all worked our ass off in our mentorship program and did what we could to stand out, and it resulted with us all picking up clients. We all are all working with higher influential people, which is amazing. But like, I get that you guys, that you don't have that yet, and it seems like it's so far away, and it might be far away. But so like everyone's saying, it's just go to the lowest hanging fruit, work with your dad or your mom, work with someone just to gain some kind of credibility. And then, there's so many people, like, if I were to go back right now and try and find a client, like, I used to go to see a chiropractor for my back. Like, I would go talk to him about, like, I would figure out what's in my network at this very moment and utilize that. So I hope that answer helps.
Yeah, it's literally, I've made a video about this and posted it in the group a little while ago, but all of you watching this guaranteed have 100 people who you know between Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat, Instafuck, or whatever the hell you are on right now.
You're on Instafuck too? Yeah. I thought it was just me.
No. It's not just you, Sam. But the point I'm trying to get at there is that you have people who know people. You just don't know it because you don't ask. Or here's the thing, and this is actually something I've learned based on my personal experience. Is one of the very big realizations that I've had in the past 90 days. And it's that the more open you are about what you do and who you are with people, the more opportunities start throwing themselves at you. Here's the thing, like, if that stuff isn't happening, it's because you are not opening up to people. Like,
yeah, within what Zach just said, this might blow your mind because it's so simple. It is frighteningly effective. So I'm going to get in nice and close so that you guys and girls can hear me. Just ask. Seriously, just fucking ask.
Oh my God.
My buddy.
Straight fucking up, dude. Like, it's so
I feel your breath through my screen.
Like, yeah, nice and minty, right?
Yeah.
Thanks, Crest.
I was about to say, are you back on the weed again, Sam?
No,
I think I just got a little
God.
feedback guy from
that
that.
is not accurate, sir.
Starting to get a little-
Anywho, I asked my buddy, "Oh, would you be willing to introduce me to this person via email?" Sure. 25 minutes later, he walks up behind us. I then ask again, but in a different way. Would you be willing to introduce us in person? Now, I think that'd be so much more powerful. Sure. And the guy ended up coming over to us anyway, and then my buddy made the introduction, and now I'm working with him. Just ask. Just ask.
And it's
Is there
like,
anyone you know, I might be
Go
able to
anywhere
help
if you
out?
keep hiding.
and it's understandable, dude. Like I don't know if I can't speak for anybody else in this group right here, but like I used to struggle with this a lot. Like I felt that and it wasn't like a matter of like I was scared to ask for something. It was a matter that I had a lot of pride. Like I was like, why would I ask somebody for something when I can just go get it myself? Maybe you are on that side of the spectrum, or maybe you're on the spectrum like I don't want to be a burden to somebody.
That's how I was.
Maybe, like
Oh, wow.
those are I feel like those are like the two.
Feel that way sometimes. So yeah, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
So if that is you, either A, put your pride aside and ask somebody for help, because as Steve Jobs said, great things in business and in life were not created by one person. They were created by a team. Okay?
Teamwork makes the dream work.
Makes the dream work.
You got that from a bumper sticker, Sam.
Fuck you. I say that shit every day.
He invented
Love
it, man.
you. No, seriously. Like, I was nervous because when I discovered that my good friend, had met this individual, I mean, he's like, oh, I'm going to ask him at some point for contact, even though they're like, don't know each other that well. They just met once. It's like, oh, but like that, I can't do that. I can't put that on him. And I was like, fuck it. He says no. He says no. And he said yes, because he's an amazing person. Which, by the way, most people, here's the thing. You already know this. Well, it depends on what week you're in EIE. So you want to share with your reader that they're needed. Because when we say we're needed, it bypasses the critical factor in our brain, and we immediately think about that. We can't get it out of our head.
Yeah.
It's true with people when they're reading emails. It's true with people in person too. People want to be needed. I want to be needed. You want to be needed. Even Paul wants to be needed.
Even Paul.
So,
Yeah, dude, you are fucking calling Paul out. I think you two should have.
so he's
We're
my,
gonna get a room
Canadian,
sometime.
my Canadian brother from another
Like,
continent.
it's-
Or country, same continent. Anyway,
we're on a really interesting subject right here. I want to stay on this for a second. Like, if you can't ask someone for help, I want you to understand one thing right now. Selling is the same thing as communication. It's the same thing as building friendships. You are coming from a position of giving something first, and then you're building a relationship based on reciprocity, based on being able to ask for something in return.
you would be astonished how many
If you ask
people
for
want to
that
help
thing in
you.
return, then you're not going to be able to ask for the sale. You're not going to be able to ask to close the client. Like, you're not, if you can't master that in a very small context, like being able to ask, like, hey, can I borrow $5 to put in my gas tank? Or so, if you can't ask somebody that confidently, we're not going to be able to ask somebody to pay you $2,000 a month. You are not going to be able to ask somebody to buy shit on your email list. You have to be okay and understand that relationships are based on reciprocity. At least good ones are anyways.
Right. You need to realize also, like I think I've said it a couple times already, but people want to help you, especially people that you don't think will want to help you. Trust me, they want to help you. I had one of my clients, I didn't even ask. I just mentioned something about this person with no ulterior motive. I was literally just saying, I actually was writing for this person for, one of the homework assignments in my, as this person, one of the homework assignments for my, the email course. And, it was really cool because this person has made a big impact on my life. I've been through their products. It turns out that individual knows that person. It's like, would you like to write for that person? Oh my God, I'd love to. Okay. Give me a second. Remind me tomorrow to send that person an email introducing you. Like, you have no idea how much people want to help you, even when you're not even looking for it.
And even if you don't think they do, I think JC talked about this, or maybe I read in a book. I don't know where the fuck I got it from, but basically, it's the way you frame it. Also, like, as humans, like we want something, so we ask for it. It's like our instinct to say like, can I have your money, or can I write your emails, or I want to help you. I want to help you. I want to help you. It's our instinct to just ask. But if you frame it the right way, it takes off. When you say it like that, you're putting all this stress on their shoulders to give you the answer, and it like pushes them into a corner. I know in week 7 they go through. JC shows us a script to send out to people, and it works. The best part about that script is when you say it's okay to say no. It's okay if you don't want to, but here's blah 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 blah. For example, I'm back. Like I said, I'm back home for a couple of days, and I've been having like headaches a lot. So one of my trainers I used to work with, he has this like crazy fucking laser device supposed to like boost your mitochondria or some crazy shit. Anyways, I used it and I loved it, and then I asked him on the spot, like as I was leaving, I said, "Hey man, is it cool if I come back again to get one more treatment before I leave?" And you could see in his face, he was like kind of hesitant, like, I don't know, I'm not gonna have time. Like I had just put all this stress on him with this answer. He was fine with letting me come back, but I just put stress on him. So then I left, and then I realized what I just did. So I messaged him a couple of days later, and I said, "Hey man, I would love to try the laser out one more time. It's cool if you can. Feel free to say no, but if you have time before I leave, I'd love to come up there and try it one more time." Answers me 5 minutes later, says, "Come on, like here's this time. Come on up."
Wow,
so
powerful.
That's not emails, but I've used that with getting clients. I've used that with sales. It's the same thing. It's just about not throwing yourself on them, asking, and then giving them permission to say no, because then pressure's
like
off.
when I sent this 20-second video DM to this prospective client the other night, I didn't say like, "Oh, like I'd love to write your emails, da 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 da." I was like, "So and so said you might be looking to take like your email program to the next level. I currently work with this person and this person. I've actually taken the liberty of writing a couple of emails for this product that you have. If you wanna take a look, let me know." And he's like, "Oh yeah, dude, like I'd love to." Like I wasn't asking, it was just like you put the ball like in their court, but you take all the pressure and stress off of them.
This is a totally unrelated note, but I wanted to hit on this a little bit. I don't know about you guys. I'm sure you guys have gotten a lot of questions too, but I've been on a couple of phone calls with some people in the email group, and the common question I get is like, "Yo, I don't know how to get clients," or "I'm struggling to get clients." And I'll ask these people, "So how many times have you like sent out an email? How many times have you made contact? How many times have you done any of that stuff?" And their answer to me is, "I haven't talked to anybody."
Fucking ridiculous.
Dude, I want to say, like I put my face like
you miss 100% of the shots you do not take.
Damn fucking straight.
100%.
So here's the thing. I want to wrap this back around to you guys. Like, this is what I recommend you do right now. Like, don't wait till the call's over. Don't wait till tomorrow. Don't wait an hour. Send your first email right now if you haven't. If you haven't graduated the class, don't worry about this. You'll still get plenty of other value from this video. But if you have graduated that class and you were saying that I'm struggling getting clients or whatever, and you haven't sent anything out, do something right now. Get off
that momentum. Yeah.
Get off this.
I got an even better idea for you guys to do. Because you already have the mission, the homework to do a daily email, I would make a list of the 5 to 10 people that you are going to contact, and I would write a daily email for them every single day for a week, and then contact them with the swipe file of the 7 emails and send it out to them. That way you're leading with value.
That's exactly what you want to do. That's spot on, Justin.
Because they want the trial anyways. Send them the emails. Reach out to them. I mean, you can still reach out to people anyways. I would still do what Zach says, reach out to the first person. But use that time, because if you're doing what you should be doing and kaizening and doing the emails, you might as well fucking make it worth your while and send it.
Yeah.
100%.
Why not? In fact, I was actually writing as soon as or a few days after graduating from EIE. I was writing as someone who I wanted to write for, just in the hopes that I could maybe get connected to them someday. Well, it turns out that individual is one of my current clients who I was introduced to. And while we were introduced, I said, "Oh, by the way, I actually have like about a week's worth of emails for your press. I've actually been writing as you, just like not knowing we were going to meet, but I just have some emails actually ready to go." So, "Oh, that'd be amazing." I'm not saying that was like the make or break for us moving our relationship forward to a phone call a couple days later, but it sure as hell didn't hurt.
Here's the thing, guys. Like, we've in this call, we've talked about, like, stop doing the cold calling, stop doing the cold emailing, start getting introduced. Here's the thing: if you haven't kind of contact yet, the only reason why I'm saying send out an email right now is just to get you doing something. Anything, like, put yourself in that momentum today and make it consistent. Like, even if that one step only takes you like 2 seconds to do something every day and just keep building on that. Like, it's no different than building the habit of writing the daily email. The first week was hard as fuck. Second week, it got easier. Third week, it started to flow. Fourth week was nothing. It was easy. It was a habit at that point. It's the same thing with reaching out for clients. You have to make it a habit. Do something every single day that's going to put your business forward. Period.
Amen to that.
That is fucking beautiful.
I think that we have delivered a fuck ton of value in this call tonight.
I'd say so.
I guess let's answer the really cool shit, because I promised somebody a consultation phone call with myself.
Let's read the free gift.
Yeah, what do you guys think was the best question here today?
I'm a little biased, but I'm going to say anything about networking and client working with that. First question was pretty damn good.
Questions.
What was there was
I'm pulling back up the questions right now.
I think
First question for me, I say was the best one.
Malcolm had a pretty solid question.
What's up?
I think Malcolm had a pretty solid question. Can you read that one out?
Malcolm Ford? Yeah, 100%. Let's get to that.
God, your hair is gorgeous.
You shouldn't have it that angle right there. Have it the other angle.
Making me blush.
No, that's definitely the best angle.
Oh, man.
And does that not just get you going? No?
Oh, no, I mean, like, don't get me wrong, man. I'm half chubbed over here.
You can actually
Holy
post
cow.
you can just see his face too. I believe so.
Let's see here. Can never pull something up quick enough when you need to. All right.
I like the value email.
You
When
got the
you're on
best
a phone
goal.
call with a potential client, a lot of the time they ask questions about why your style of writing is different from others and why they can help your business. So what is the best way to break down and explain how us EIE guys can help them out?
Demonstration versus presentation.
I would definitely say that we spend a lot of our time discussing that. So Malcolm,
Yeah.
getting in touch with you.
Way to go, Malcolm.
And, that was a really good question. So I look forward to having an implementation session with you. And with
30 minutes with the man himself.
Damn right. All right, I'm going to unrecord us now. I'm not shutting the call off. We can.
Oh, off the record? We always do that.
Wait, we're not off the record yet, Paul.
Always. I love the off the record.
Yeah. All right. Well, hope you guys enjoyed. We don't have a name for this. Maybe we'll think of a name for it next time we get on the call. But peace.
Let us know what you want the name.
The Super Friends client. I don't know.